ever, like, totally lose it after a meeting that just drives you crazy, or like snap at someone, someone you really care about?
Yeah, happens to everyone.
It does.
Yeah.
But like, is there a way to maybe hit pause on all those, I don't know, intense emotions
Yeah.
and choose a better way to react?
Well, that's where emotional intelligence comes in.
Okay.
Or EQ.
There's a cue. All right, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
So is it like not just feeling all those emotions?
It's not just feeling them, no.
Because we all do that.
We all have emotions. It's about understanding them and managing them.
What?
Both in yourself and like when you're dealing with other people.
So it's like, I don't know, some kind of secret code.
Yeah, kind of.
To figure out emotions.
Yeah.
Why is EQ so important, though? Like, does it really change, my daily life?
Absolutely. It affects like every relationship, every choice you make, every time you talk to someone. Everything has emotions tied into it. And high EQ, well, that helps you, build stronger bonds with people, get through tough stuff better, and even reach your goals.
Okay, so I'm getting it, but it still seems kind of big and confusing. EQ, where do we even start?
Well, think of EQ as a toolbox. Each part of EQ is like a tool. And we'll start with self-awareness. That's the most important part.
Okay. Self-awareness, like knowing when I'm, hungry and kind of grumpy.
Yeah, that's part of it. But it's more than that. Like, you need to get why you feel the way you do. Say you're, nervous about giving a presentation.
Right.
Self-awareness isn't just knowing you're nervous. It's asking, why am I nervous? Is it public speaking, in front of everyone? Is it that you didn't prepare enough? Or maybe you're, just not feeling so confident about what you can do.
So you got to be curious about your own feelings.
Exactly.
Like some inner detective.
Yeah. And that helps you break bad habits. Once you know why you feel a certain way, then you can start to change how you react.
So self-awareness, it's about knowing your emotions.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about managing those feelings, after we figure them out? That's got to be hard.
It is. That's where self-regulation comes in.
Oh, okay.
It's another tool in our EQ toolbox. Think of it like your inner thermostat.
Okay.
So instead of letting your emotions, just boil over, you got to learn to control them. Turn them up or down when you need to.
Ooh, I need that feature. But isn't that kind of like hiding how you feel? Shouldn't we just, let it all out?
Not really. Self-regulation isn't about ignoring your feelings. It's about showing them in a good way. Like, imagine you don't get that promotion you really wanted. You're going to be disappointed, maybe even mad.
Yeah, I would be.
Self-regulation helps you notice those feelings, but it stops you from, going crazy. Like, instead of barging into your boss's office or sending like a really angry email, you take a breath.
Okay.
Process how you're feeling, and then you choose to do something better. Like, ask for feedback, how to do better next time.
So it's choosing how to react, not just reacting.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we've got self-awareness. That's understanding our feelings. We've got self-regulation, managing those feelings. What else is there? What other EQ tools?
Next is motivation.
Okay.
But not the kind that, gets you to the gym for a week and then you stop. This is deep motivation, the kind that makes you love doing something.
I like that, deep motivation.
Yeah, and it pushes you towards what you want to achieve.
Even when it's hard.
Even when it's hard, yeah.
So it's not about like money or getting recognized. It's more about, that feeling inside that keeps you going.
Yeah, exactly. Think about when you've been totally passionate about something. Maybe a creative project, like volunteering or even learning a new skill.
I get that.
That energy, that focus, that's what I'm talking about.
That's the deep motivation.
Yeah, that's intrinsic motivation.
Okay, I'm starting to see how it all fits together. We've got self-awareness, understanding our emotions, then self-regulation, which is managing them, and then we got motivation, like that inner drive.
Mm-hmm.
But what about, understanding how other people feel? Where does that fit in?
That's where empathy comes in.
Okay.
It's like the most valuable tool in the whole EQ toolbox. It's being able to really see things from someone else's point of view, to feel their emotions like they're your own.
So like stepping into their shoes.
Yeah.
But isn't that like really hard to do? Really hard to actually have empathy?
It takes practice.
Yeah.
But you can do it. Think about a time when someone really listened to you. No judgment, just really understood you.
Yeah.
That's empathy. It's not just saying the right things. It's listening, paying attention to, how they look, how they're acting.
The body language.
Yeah, and connecting with their emotions, really connecting.
So it's less about fixing their problems and more about just making them feel heard.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. That sounds powerful. Like it could really change things. All right, so we've got self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, and empathy. That's 4, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Is there is there a fifth tool, the last one in the EQ toolbox?
There is, yeah. And it's usually the one you see the most. Social skills.
Social skills.
It's how we figure out all those social situations, how we
Yeah.
talk to each other, how we build those connections with people, and how we, get people to do things in a good way.
So it's not just about being the life of the party.
No, it's more than that.
Oh.
It's about noticing those social cues, understanding when someone's not saying what they mean. It's about changing how you act depending on the situation and building real connections with people. Think about someone who can calm everyone down when things are tense.
Yeah.
Someone who can handle disagreements or bring people together to do something. That's social skills.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, wow. So we've got 5 amazing EQ tools. Self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. But I got to admit, I'm not great at all of these.
Yeah.
Is EQ something you're just born with, or can we actually learn it and get better?
That's a great question. And the good news is EQ isn't set in stone.
Yeah.
It's something you can work on.
Yeah, it's like a muscle.
Oh, okay.
The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Some people might be better at some parts of EQ naturally,
Right.
but everyone can learn it and improve if they really want to.
Lots of ways. Meditation is popular, but you can also find mindfulness just doing normal stuff, like
Yeah.
taking a walk, listening to music, or even just taking a few minutes to focus on your breathing.
I like that, finding calm in the middle of all the craziness.
Exactly.
What about getting feedback from other people? I've always found that a bit scary, to be honest.
It can be, yeah. It makes you feel vulnerable,
Yeah.
but it's really helpful. We all have blind spots, when it comes to our own emotions.
Oh, yeah.
Talking to people you trust, friends, family, coworkers, they can give you insights that you wouldn't see yourself.
It's like asking those tough questions. Hey, how did I do in that situation? Could I have done it differently?
Exactly. And be open to what they say, even if it's not what you want to hear. Feedback is a gift. It's a chance to learn.
Okay, feedback noted.
Good.
What about empathy? Any advice for getting better at that? Understanding other people's feelings.
Active listening. That's the key.
Active listening.
It's more than just hearing words. You really got to pay attention to what the other person is saying, what their body language is saying. Put your phone away, make eye contact, and focus on understanding them.
So be present,
Yeah.
not just waiting for my turn to talk.
Exactly. Ask questions to make sure you get it, what they're saying. And sometimes just repeating back what you hear can be really powerful.
Oh.
It sounds like you're really frustrated. That can make them feel heard and understood.
I could see how that would make someone feel seen. Really seen.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, active listening is going on my list. Now, what about self-regulation? How do we keep those emotions, in check when things get really intense?
One thing that really helps is to just pause. When you feel those big emotions coming on, take a moment, breathe,
Right.
and ground yourself before you react.
Yeah, sometimes I just need to, walk away, take a break, do some deep breathing.
Exactly. That pause gives you space to choose a better response.
That makes sense.
Another thing that can help is to reframe your thoughts. When you're stressed or upset, it's easy to start thinking negatively.
Oh, yeah, I'm the queen of catastrophizing. Something small goes wrong, and I immediately think it's the end of the world.
We all do it, yeah. But the trick is to challenge those negative thoughts.
Oh, okay.
Ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Is it even true? What's a more realistic way to look at this?
So it's like catching those thoughts before they go crazy and changing them to be more positive and realistic.
Exactly. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. Talk to a friend, a therapist, a mentor, anyone you trust. Sometimes just saying those negative thoughts out loud can help.
That's really helpful advice. I'm already feeling more, prepared to deal with tough emotional situations. But what about motivation? How do we find that inner drive, the one that makes us passionate and helps us reach our goals?
One way is to connect with your values.
My value.
Yeah. What's really important to you? What do you want your life to be about? When you do things that match your values, you'll naturally feel more motivated.
So it's about finding that perfect mix of what you love and what you believe in.
Yeah. Think about a time you felt really energized by what you were doing. Chances are it was something that lined up with your values. Another thing that can help is to set good goals.
I like setting goals, but I'm also really bad at setting them too high and then getting bummed out when I don't reach them right away.
That happens to a lot of people. Break down those big goals into smaller steps. Celebrate the small wins, as you go. That will keep you motivated.
Okay, I'm definitely going to try that. I'm feeling really inspired by all these tips, but I have a feeling there's even more to learn about EQ.
There is. Yeah.
So we've learned all about these amazing EQ tools and how to actually get better at using them. But I'm wondering, is there like a secret formula to master EQ? Do we just hit some point where we become like emotional ninjas,
Yeah.
handling anything life throws at us without even thinking about it?
I wish there was a simple answer. But really, developing EQ, it's a journey, not like a finish line. You keep learning, keep growing, keep discovering new things about yourself.
So it's not about being perfect at it. It's about, I don't know, just trying to get better all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Think about it like learning a new language
Okay.
or learning to play an instrument. It takes time, it takes practice, and you're going to make mistakes along the way.
That's true. I'm not going to be fluent in Spanish overnight.
Exactly. And you're not going to pick up a guitar and just, shred like a rock star on the first day.
It's about putting in the work and getting better.
Yeah. And the cool thing about EQ is the more you work on it, the more it becomes like a part of you. Like you'll start reacting to things differently with more awareness and empathy and skill without even trying.
Like emotional muscle memory?
Yeah, kind of like that. But we're all human, right?
Right.
So we're going to mess up sometimes. Are there any like traps or things to watch out for as we, work on our EQ?
I'm sure there are.
Yeah. One common one is people using EQ too much.
Too much.
Yeah, just because you're, more in tune with your feelings and others' feelings doesn't mean you got to analyze everything.
Yeah.
Or hold back how you feel all the time.
So it's finding a balance, right? Being aware of emotions, but still being yourself.
Yeah. We don't want to be robots overthinking everything we do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anything else to watch out for?
Another challenge is empathy fatigue, especially for people who, take care of others or their job involves a lot of emotions. It's important to take care of yourself, too, and set boundaries.
That makes sense. You can't give what you don't have.
Right.
So taking care of yourself, recharging, that's all part of EQ, too.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the good stuff, the rewards of all this EQ work. We've talked about some, but I want to know more, like, how does EQ really change our lives?
It changes a lot, for the better. High EQ leads to stronger relationships,
Makes sense.
better communication, less fighting, and deeper connections based on, trust and understanding.
Yeah, when we get our own emotions figured out, it makes it easier to deal with other people, too.
Exactly. And it's not just about other people. It helps you. Studies show that people with high EQ, they tend to be more resilient, handle stress better, and just feel happier overall.
So it's good for our minds, our emotions, even our bodies.
It is, yeah. And the best part is it's never too late to start. No matter where you are on your EQ journey, there's always room to grow.
I love that. It's never too late. So as we wrap up this deep dive into EQ, I want to leave you with this. What if, instead of thinking of EQ as something you just have or don't have, we thought of it as something that's always changing, a set of skills we can always work on throughout our whole lives? What if we embrace the mistakes, the times we mess up, and saw them as part of learning? What if we approached everything, the good and the bad, with curiosity and a willingness to grow? Just imagine stronger relationships, bouncing back from tough times, really knowing ourselves, and a life that feels more fulfilling. That's the power of EQ, and it's something we can all achieve.